manufacture it and think about the sustainability trade-offs that you need to make to put it into manufacture. You then talk about the manufacturing process itself, the marketing approaches that you're going to take, how you're going to put it into market, how you're going to support it in the market when it's there, and then the financial and commercial considerations that need to be thought about, which will be key to an investor. And that all comes together as a business proposal. The good thing is that pretty much all of the teams are coming with a clear business proposal, which is great, because previously we have had teams who just turn up and want to talk about their Formula Student car, and they're missing the point. But I think vast majority of teams are getting that, so that's great. Where we are seeing some areas where we're not getting the coverage we expect is particularly around manufacturing. We do look to you to see what you think about whether you should be manufacturing things in-house or whether you should be outsourcing them. But even if you outsource an awful lot of the design of your car, or even if you're saying this is an investment case, so you're not pitching to a manufacturer, you still have to demonstrate that you understand how your car and how the components will be manufactured, and consider some of the issues around assembly and that kind of thing, because they are important to the presentation case. There's a lot of content, as I said, to fit into 10 minutes. You will have to prioritise stuff, you will have to make trade-offs, put less detail in some areas, more detail in others, and it's up to you as to how, it's your judgment as to how you do that. So the business logic case. This is the first year of really properly using the business logic case. The judges all had the business logic cases that you submitted in December, and they were referring to them as they went through your presentations. I think we've seen some really very well presented business logic cases. Others probably could do with a bit of work, but I think generally speaking, the trend is good. And it's providing useful information that puts the business presentation in context. I think there's a couple of points, though, to pick up on, one of which is that we appreciate, since you submitted the business logic case in December to now, things may have changed in terms of your design philosophy for the car. Say you think that the market's changed. That's absolutely fine, as long as you explain it in your business presentation. So explain that the volumes and the sales, your target sales price has changed, and explain the factors behind it. And the judges will go along with that, that'll be fine. But don't have a business presentation that you present at Formula Student which is inconsistent with your business logic case. It'll undermine the confidence in your proposal. And the second area is we give you a curve of sales price versus volume for you to pick a point on and use that in the business logic case. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't do the market research which demonstrates why you've picked that point on the curve. So you need to have information there that's able to back up your position that there are this many buyers who will pay this much for a particular car. Sustainability is a relatively small percentage of the marks, but it can differentiate between a very good presentation and a very bad presentation. It's applicable to all cars, irrespective of the powertrain. It's not just limited to the alternative powertrain vehicles. And we want you to think about the sustainability trade-offs that you need to make. Is it a trade-off against cost or against performance? And also explain, coming back to your market research, what trade-offs that your customer is willing to bear. Because there's no point having a really sustainable product that no one's prepared to buy. This year, 26 teams didn't cover sustainability in any level of detail and scored 0 of the available marks against sustainability. When I'm doing this presentation next year, I'd like to see that number significantly smaller, preferably 0. Do we have University of Iceland here? I think a big well done to Iceland. You were the top in sustainability. You were the highest marks for any of the teams. And actually you came pretty close to getting the maximum marks available. So really good job there, guys, well done. And For anyone who thinks that sustainability is a bit of an academic topic and it doesn't relate to real life and to your future careers, this slide is taken from Jaguar Land Rover's sustainability report for 2013. And I know that many of you will have been to the Jaguar Land Rover tent and been talking about possible careers with them. JLR have really embedded sustainability in the core of their business, and I think it is an indicator that throughout your developing careers, sustainability is going to be playing an increasingly important role in how your careers move forward. So, it might be something that you don't think is necessarily as important as other factors, but it's going to become increasingly important in the future. And then finally, innovation. We encourage innovative business proposals, and we see a lot of innovative business proposals every year. I think when you're looking at innovation in your business presentation, you need to think about how far you are straying away from the core discipline of demonstrating a business case for manufacturing and taking to market a single-seat racing car. The further you go away from that, the more time you have to spend explaining what it is that you're doing, and that's taking away from time that could be spent covering off the manufacturing, the market analysis, the sustainability, etc. So potentially you are losing marks. And also you're opening up a whole series of other questions around, do you understand the risks? Do you understand the economics of the area that you're venturing into? And if you're pitching to investors, you've got to look at it from the investor's point of view, particularly around the level of risk that they're taking versus a straight manufacturing deal. So I'm not saying by any means don't innovate. All I'm saying is just bear in mind that with innovation comes additional risk that could detract from an otherwise good presentation. So I think that's enough from me in terms of general feedback. I'd now like to introduce the University of Aberdeen, who are the winners of Class 1. So Ben and Josh are going to present in a couple of minutes. Hopefully they've got the right presentation loaded. I'm sure they have. But I think hopefully you will see what we saw when we saw the presentation, that there's good coverage of all the topics. They managed to strike a good balance between the depth of material that they were presenting without overloading the judging panel and giving them too much detail. And also, what you unfortunately won't have is an excellent set of handouts, which they made very effective use of during their presentation. So I will now hand you over to Ben and Josh, and they will give their presentation.
Good afternoon. My name is Ben Dyer, and founder and managing director of Tire Racing, and I'm here with Josh Marsh, the co-founder and business manager, to present to you an exciting business investment opportunity. I shall start off by defining our target market, identifying key competitors, before passing on to Josh, who will discuss our product, the Tire Mark II. He shall then discuss our marketing strategy before moving on to our manufacturing process. Finally, I shall finish with an overview of our finances. So we'll give a brief history on Tire Racing. Tire Racing was formed by a group of engineers working at the back of a garage back in 2007. In 2009, the Tire Mark I prototype was produced. This research and development soon started into a Tire Mark II, and in 2012, the first Tire Mark II prototype was produced. We now wish to bring this Mark II into mass manufacture, and we also see a future in Tire Racing and look to produce a Mark III further down the line. So, why are we here today? We're looking for an investment of $400,000. This would be in addition to the $200,000 we've already obtained through personal investment. This would allow us to expand our current factory facilities, put on an accelerated marketing campaign, perform research and development into the Tire Mark III, pay our staff salaries, and see us through working capital. In return, you, as investors, shall receive a 30% equity stake in Tower Racing, yielding an impressive 32% internal rate of return, and payback in year 3, quarter 2. So, our target market is split into 2 main customer segments. Firstly, meet Jack. He is a 16 to 25-year-old motorsport enthusiast on an average income. Next, we have the slightly older David, who is a thrill seeker on a slightly higher income. The primary requirements of Jack and David are listed below, with the younger Jack interested in competitive performance, low purchase cost, and fun to drive. David is also interested in that competitive performance, but as a family man, looks for safety and reliability too. But it's not just direct sales that we're going to be using for the Tower Mark II. We're also looking to set up a leasing business, and this would be both leasing our cars directly to your customers and leasing them through sales of cars to racetracks who would then lease them themselves. We look to set up long-term partnerships with local racetracks such as Thruxton Circuit, and through this leasing business we believe it will increase exposure of Tower Racing. Here we have the results of a series of surveys conducted at various motorsport events, which lists the primary requirements of our customers. You can see low purchase cost, safety and competitive performance come out on top, but our customers also look for sustainability and after-sales support. We also asked our customers how much they were willing to spend, and we found that in the range of $20,000 to $25,000 was optimal. The size of our market, we currently have 15 customers who have placed a deposit for the Tower Mark II, and a further 20 cars sold to racing tracks. We're also in negotiations with other tracks to expand this. The MSA, the governing body for all motorsport events in the UK, currently have 34,000 licence holders, almost 13,000 of which compete in the necessary speed and discipline race events. Assuming we replace our car every 5 years, this gives us an annual potential customer base of 3,220. Competition comprises of both established companies and new companies. The Tower Mark II has a significant performance advantage over road legal cars such as the Caterham, as it is more track focused and hence much lighter. When we look at purchase cost of the various offerings, you can see Tower Mark II offers similar competitive performance for a smaller price tag, and it also fits into the $20,000 to $25,000 that our target market is willing to spend. I shall now pass you on to Josh, who should talk you through our product.
So once we defined what our customers are looking for and decided on an internal combustion engine over an electric powertrain, we could design our product to meet these needs. Combining the CBR 600 engine with our custom life racing ECU maximises power output. This, with our lightweight construction, minimises weight and maximises performance. Tower Mark II achieves an impressive power to rate ratio of 400 brake horsepower per tonne and a 0 to 60 time of 4.6 seconds, and all of this for the very competitive price of $22,000. Sustainability is high on customer requirements. Therefore, Tower has achieved a sustainably focused design. As you can see here in the green, all the bodywork is constructed from basalt fibre. We consider this a unique selling point as it is a material that is highly underused in the motorsport industry. Basalt fibre is a sustainable alternative to the more traditional carbon fibre or glass fibre, as it is made from basalt rock, the most abundant rock in the Earth's crust. In addition, Tower Mark II's steel space frame chassis enables individual chassis members to be repaired or replaced, giving it preference over a carbon fibre monocoque or aluminium honeycomb structure. And to ensure we take full responsibility of the product during its entire life cycle, we offer our customers a recycling scheme when the time does come to dispose of their vehicles. We want to offer our customers the ability to tailor their cars to their personal preference. So we offer a wide range of customization options, from a selection of wheels and body colours, including the ability to create a custom paint design, right through to a full 6-speed paddle shift transmission. The addition of a smartphone as the dashboard display gives the driver real-time information, including speed, RPM and sensor readouts. It also gives them the option to use their own device should they choose to. Tower Racing takes customer loyalty very seriously and therefore offer a wide range of after-sales support and products. These include specialist maintenance and servicing and a weekend support line should anyone run into any issues while at a weekend track day. We also offer the ability to extend our 1-year standard warranty to 3 or 5 years. Intense testing of both the car and individual components reduces technical risk while ensuring every vehicle meets our high safety and reliability standards. Tower Racing takes part in a number of promotional events to expose our car to the motorsport industry and boost our customer base. TAL Mark II attends a number of national race events and is also used in track instruction days, and links with established bodies such as Go Motorsport help to boost the car's and the company's profile. Although TAL Racing still employs traditional advertising techniques such as magazines and newspapers, we are making a shift towards online advertising. Services such as Google Ads enable direct targeting of relevant customers, and social media sites allow customers to share their TAL Racing experience. In compliance with our sustainable design, we've tried to employ sustainable manufacturing techniques. Factors such as proximity to suppliers were taken into account when choosing the location of our new factory. It will therefore be located in Hertfordshire, in very close proximity to the heart of motorsport in Northamptonshire, where 8 out of the 11 Formula 1 teams are based. Using solar panels and wind turbines provide the factory with clean energy. Using just-in-time and lean manufacturing techniques, our cars can be produced in a fast and efficient manner. Outsourcing high capital cost components such as engine and tyres maximises efficiency and profit. The factory operates on a cell manufacturing basis, so individual components can be manufactured and then brought together during final assembly. After final assembly, every car passes through our rigorous quality control department to ensure only cars that meet our high reliability and safety standards leave the factory. I'll now pass you back to Ben, who's going to take you through the finances.
So I'll now provide you with a short overview of our finances, but for a more detailed view, please refer to your financial handouts provided. Here we have the graph of annual sales volume over the 5-year period, and you can see a maximum of 150 cars to be sold in year 5. For our production cost of $14,000 and a selling price of $22,000, we have a healthy profit margin of 57%. Here we have the cumulative cash flow from our perspective. Payback is achieved in year 2, quarter 4, and the net present value at the end of the 5-year period is estimated at $297. This yields an impressive internal rate of return of 32%. The cumulative cash flow from your perspective as investors pays back in year 3, quarter 2. At the end of the 5-year period, you can expect a net present value of $81,000. This yields the same impressive internal rate of return of 32%. So having heard our pitch, I'd like to reiterate our main points. Why should you invest in us? And how do you know your investment is secure? With deposits already placed for the TAL Mark II, we have an established market with a strong potential to grow. The TAL Mark II is competitive across the board and is being thoroughly tested to ensure it is reliable. We have an extensive marketing scheme to ensure that we build and maintain our customer base, and we employ sustainable manufacturing techniques to ensure production is efficient. Finally, this investment is financially rewarding, with a net present value of $81,000 and an internal rate of return of 32%. I'd like to thank you for listening and invite any questions you may have.
Well done, guys. Okay. That concludes then the business presentation demonstration. I hope you've all found it useful. We've really noticed that with some of the teams, the the lessons learned and the advice from judges that we've given in 2013 has been brought forward into the teams in 2014. So I think the one thing I'd ask when you sort of leave the room is please take some of these lessons learned, both what you've seen here and also the feedback that you've had from the judges in your sessions, and make sure that those lessons are passed on to the teams for next year. I wish you all the best for the rest of the competition, and have a good Formula student.